The next weapon that we're going to be covering for the driller for this weapon guide is the subata. This is a single fire style handgun, very similar to like a traditional blam 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 type pistol that you would have in real life. It is your first secondary weapon for the driller. It is unlocked by default at the start of the game, and this is your primary mid to long range poking option on the driller. A lot of the modifiers for it, there are some basic modifiers. There are some modifiers that change how the gun plays dramatically. I'm not even going to show overclock. Well, I'll show overclocks, why not? Like this, okay, so automatic fire on it. Yeah, pretty simple. This one where you deal, you have a lot less ammo, but whenever you press the reload button, the thing that you shot blows up and deals an insane amount of damage. Yeah, it's awesome. Anyways, let's look at the modifiers. This gun is probably the shining example of flexibility in terms of build, because there are 3 modifiers for damage and 2 modifiers for ammo, and they all go up against each other. So let's cover this real quick. This is, by default, it deals 12 damage per shot, on par with the Zhukov's and the deep core assault rifle for scout. You have a base magazine capacity of 12 bullets. You have a maximum ammo capacity of 160. So you're looking at about, I think, 14 reloads on the gun. You can fire 8 shots per second. They are single fire shots though, so it's as fast as you can hammer the trigger. And the reload time of 1.9 seconds, which puts it right around the same range as the burst pistol and the Magnum. And it has a built-in 20% weak point damage bonus. So you deal about, I think it's like 2.5 damage extra on a weak point hit. So we're gonna cover the other two tiers first, which is your tier 5 and your tier 1. Tier 5 is actually just very simple, 50% bonus damage against one of 2 categories. So you have 50% bonus damage to burning targets, and that's bonus fire damage. What this does, interestingly enough, this modifier adds damage. It does not convert damage. So this doesn't deal 6 damage as direct damage and 6 damage as fire damage. This is a bonus 6 damage dealt as fire damage to a target that's already on fire. Personally, if I'm setting something on fire, it's going to die. I don't need this modifier. I generally run Mac Terra. This is a bonus 20% damage against Mac Terra enemies. Which, I just want to mention the fact that you're not going to be using the subata against Mac Terras, because Mac Terras take 50% bonus damage from fire, and if they get frozen, they automatically fall out of the sky and die. So you're not going to use this mod at all, but I run this because if you run out of ammo on your primary weapon and all you have left is the subata, Mac Terra Plague is very good. That 20% also bonus damage also works, by the way, on a weak point hit. So that essentially gives you 40% bonus damage on Mac Terra weak points, which is primarily why I run it. The other option that you have are these. So we have the high capacity magazine. This is a bonus 5 ammo. It takes it from 12 to 17. This is primarily what I run. I like to have extra ammo in my gun. I do want to mention that if you do run, like I said, this modifier right here, it's going to cut that in half. And it's going to round up. It's going to take away 9, not 8. So it becomes kind of necessary. Oh, shit, wrong one. Kind of necessary there. But I just like having a higher base ammo, even on the automatic fire mod. The pinpoint accuracy on the first shot, this essentially reduces your spread. It gives you a tighter spread. Here's the thing. If you're playing automatic fire, you're going to have big spread. So you're going to learn how to control it. If you're not running automatic fire, you don't need it. Just pace your shots. So, yeah, fuck that modifier. Stupid. On this one, this is the quickfire ejector. This is something I actually used to run for a little while, and then I wanted the extra bullets for spam fire purposes. It cuts your reload time down pretty close to about the time the shotgun has with its modifier. I don't need it. I mean, it's not 2 seconds. It's not that bad of a reload time in my opinion. Longer than 2.5 seconds. Yeah, I kind of feel it. So, these are the 2 primary ones. Now, everything else we're going to talk about is the variations on these builds. The other 2 modifiers that we're going to talk about, you have the Recoil Compensator. This is trash. I mean, if you want to go for a full recoil build on an automatic fire build, yeah, sure, go right ahead. I don't do that. The other one you have is the weak point build. This is the hollow point bullets. So this increases your weak point bonus damage to 80%, which means that you will deal a bonus 8 to 9, I think it's 9 damage per weak point hit. Now that can be pretty good. That's 21 damage. That's right on par with the burst pistol without weak point damage. And then on a Mac Terror, it's double weak point damage. So you deal 24 damage on a Mac Terror. But yeah, no. So here's how the numbers stack up. You get bonus 3 damage on this, which is what you should primarily take. You're going to take this every time. That's 3 damage per bullet. Your other damage modifiers are both 1. And your ammo modifiers are both 40. So you're always going to take this. Now you can run a max damage build where you run all the damage modifiers. This gives you 17 damage on a bullet. This is nice. This is a bonus of 5 damage a bullet, but you have less ammo. You can run the max ammo build where you run an extra 80 rounds, which is primarily what I run. I would not split it, by the way. There's no point in running those extra ones right here unless you are planning specifically on running the max damage build. And that max damage build is not a high enough damage threshold to matter unless you had a weak point modifier. So, in my opinion, I run the 2 ammo bags with that bonus. There is no circumstance where you should not run this. I'm sorry, your weak point, the damage, it's not significant enough in my opinion. I want 3 damage per bullet. So, that's primarily what I run here. The Subata is pretty much a good overall weapon to run. That's pretty much all I can say about it. It's a good overall weapon to run. This gun is like a generic, boring pistol. It's very similar to the burst fire pistol and the deep core AR for the gunner and the scout, respectively. It's not that impressive, but it gets the job done. This is also going to be your primary long-range weapon on the flamethrower, your primary long-range weapon on the corrosive sludge pump, unless you're running carpet bomber, or you normal fire a lot, and it's going to be your primary long-range weapon for the cryo cannon unless you don't like the EPC, which I don't like the EPC, or you're not running icicle spear. So in my opinion, the Subata is something you should get used to running. If you want to bring 2 weapons instead of an extra tool, basically, you're going to bring this instead of the EPC. So